Just want to talk about some stuff this morning. I know it's early, forgive me, but this has been sitting on my heart heavy, and I have to say it. I'm gonna see if we can get anybody to join this early. I'm gonna wait for a couple more people. I just got some things that I want to address that are bothering me a lot. So, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody has a blessed day. I just had to get some of this stuff off my chest because it's, I don't want to use the wrong choice of words here, but this is difficult. And I just need the city to understand something. Yesterday during my speech, let me go ahead and just say what this is about, so that way everybody can understand what I'm about to talk about. Yesterday during my speech, there was a part where I said, when I was talking at the Monday meeting, the SOS meetings, where I had said, "Be a man," and I've been hit up since last night, this morning, and every single time I explain it to a person, they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I'll leave you alone." When I said "be a man," people were offended because, we're dealing with gender identity. And what people aren't realizing is that when I said "step up and be a man," I was talking about the police officer who identifies himself as a man, who was downtown at the glamour salon. And half the people who have approached me and been like, "Hey, when you said step up and be a man, it was offensive," didn't know. They took what I said out of context. I was actually speaking about a person who identifies as a man. I did exactly what I was supposed to do, what I've been asked to do. But this is the thing. Every single person who has approached me about the pronouns, him, her, with the whole gender identity thing. And this is my problem with that, is that everybody is so quick to attack political correctness, but all the people who have said something to me have been white and have not said anything about Black Lives Matter, but want me to acknowledge everything about my speech the way I say him, her, human, citizen. And I don't see a balance here. I don't see equality, because how are you asking me to do something when you're showing up to these events and you don't say anything about Black Lives Matter? You're only there to make your presence known as a different part of the community. You're not there for unity. You're there to make a stand for your cause. You're not there to make a stand for what's going on right now. I need people to start seeing that. I have about 10 messages in my phone from people just hitting me up from yesterday's speech when I said "be a man," and they took what I said out of context. The person I was speaking about identifies as a man. That is what I was supposed to say. So how can I continue this fight when I'm getting... And I just want everybody to understand how this makes me feel. I'm not even saying the way I feel is legitimate, but I can't help that it's the way that I feel. I feel oppressed. I feel like at a time where I'm trying to speak up for Black Lives Matter, I'm being, I don't even know the right word, but I don't want to say attacked, because people have the right to explain how they feel. But at the same time, if we're going to attack every little thing that somebody says without even acknowledging what they're going through, that's going to make this very difficult. And it's like, the more that we go on with this Black Lives Matter movement, and please do not take this the wrong way, but it seems like white people keep trying to take the narrative, whether it's, the main thing is that I love everybody and I don't want to offend anybody, but when I can't even talk, when I can't even sit in front of my community and have a speech without I'm gonna say attacked because I feel attacked. The way people are coming at me, I'm like, okay, first of all, we can have a conversation. I don't need you to try to take the narrative of what I'm saying and say, hey, you're being offensive. You don't care about um, pronouns and who. No, the person I was talking about identifies as a man. So it is very hard for me to continue talking and trying to motivate people when my speeches keep getting attacked. When I really believe that it's hard. It's hard, but isn't it sad that even and they're all white allies that are making me feel like I don't even need to talk anymore because I'm just being attacked and I feel like my character is going to be torn apart. So I'm feeling like backing off. Not that I'm going to, but I'm saying like this is how do I feel like this right now? How do I feel like this? How do I feel like, you know what? Let me just not talk anymore because I keep offending people. Let me just shut up. I feel like I'm being silenced more by our LGBTQ allies than I am anybody else. That is honestly how I feel. Because every time I say something, I'm being, oh, well, even if my words are taken out of context, and I can't get back the time that it took for me to have to explain what was happening, or the stress that I went through and feeling that stress when somebody hit me up and said, hey, you said this and it offended me. You guys, that's causing separation. That's causing, I feel oppressed because, and this is something I want to say to the LGBTQ community, and I'm going to say this. The LGBTQ community has made me feel oppressed, has made me feel like I'm less important. The LGBTQ community steps up as if they are the most important community. We are all equal. We are all equal. And I'm not saying the whole LGBT community. I'm saying LGBTQ members have hit me up and they're making it about LGBTQ as if like that is the most important thing. And it's not, it's equally as important as everything else. And I'm starting to feel oppressed, outcast. And when by oppressed, I mean like not allowed to speak. I feel like I have to be quiet. I have to feel like I can only say a couple words. This is not us working together. And white people, I just want to I want to remind you that this is about Black Lives Matter. This is what we're focusing on right now. Racism, racism, racism within the system. That is what we're fighting against. If we keep nitpicking at each other about these things and we don't have the strength to have patience and understanding, but instead we want to get upset and nitpick at every single word that you think has been misused. Now, my point in all this is saying that I'm not telling LGBTQ members to not speak up about how they feel or the way that we can even help them feel equal. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is look how easily something can be taken out of context and how I can have 10 messages. And I'm not saying little messages. I'm talking paragraphs. I can have 10 of those. And I have to explain to all 10 that they took my words out of context. Do you know how long that takes? Do you know how that makes me feel to have to go through that? As a black man trying to push a Black Lives Matter movement with white allies that keep attacking everything I'm saying. This really sucks. I literally have messages in my inbox and then I'm like some of these responses are just, even after I say like, hey, you took what I said out of context. I was actually talking about somebody who identifies as a man. For me to have to go explain that 10 times, it makes this very difficult. It makes this fight even harder. We're supposed to be working together to make it easier. And even in my speeches now, I'm starting to talk about the LGBTQ community, and I have the LGBTQ community's back. I will stand when you guys do your rallies. I'm there. I got your back, just like you got mine. But all the LGBTQ community members that I've talked to so far have been white, have not talked about Black Lives Mattering at all. If you're going to message me about my speech, the first thing you should say is, hey, your life matters. I have a question. But instead, it's just, hey, you did this. This is what it made me feel like, and so on and so forth, with no acknowledgement towards Black Lives Matter. And if you have a sign that says Black Trans Lives Matter, have not talked about Black Lives Mattering at all. You know, if you're going to message me about my speech, the first thing you should say is, hey, your life matters. I have a question. But instead, it's just, hey, you did this. This is what it made me feel like, and so on and so forth, with no acknowledgement towards Black Lives Matter. And if you have a sign that says Black Trans Lives Matter, well, it sounds like you're saying Black straight lives don't matter. Okay, we really have to be careful about the narrative. And when we talk about equality, what we're really representing. When you push one narrative in front of the other one, you take away from the original narrative. We really need to pay attention to this. Okay, and I'm not going to let it stop me, but I want everybody to be aware of the way that it's making me feel. Like I can't talk, which is what people are asking me to do. I can't even speak without what I'm saying being attacked because I didn't use a pronoun, which is something that I've said multiple times that I'm working on. I need people to have my back, be patient, be understanding. Understand that if I say I support you, I invite you to my meetings, let's come together, let's unite, and let's use a united power together. But instead, we're divided because white allies keep saying you can't say this and you can't say that. That's offensive and you can't say that, which I want to learn all of it. But at a time like right now, it makes it very difficult to stop and learn all that stuff when and if anything, this is what I suggest to the LGBTQ community. You see that what we're doing for the Black Lives Matter is we are trying to put up a structure of understanding, right? We're giving knowledge to the people, right? So we've set up a program where we meet up and we actually talk about things and understand them better, okay? Don't come to something where that's what we're doing to try to get us to understand and explain a whole nother thing. You know, set something up that invites people to come learn about the LGBTQ community. Start a program, and I'm not saying it hasn't been started. I'm just not aware of it. But I'm saying if you feel like people aren't educated enough on the LGBTQ language, then start a program where you teach people in the community instead of, and yes, I'm going to say this word because I feel antagonized. Stop antagonizing people about the words that they're using and set up something where you can educate people, okay? The fact that I said step up and be a man and it was taken out of context and I had to explain it to 10 different people because they took what I said out of context shows how much of a waste of time that one specific thing is. Okay, so I can't waste a bunch of time on people who are taking my words out of context. I just can't do it. And that's the other thing is like I want the LGBTQ community to realize that when you're talking about pronouns and stuff, you're talking about political correctness. We're talking about lives, Black lives, not political correctness. And we're talking about people dying, not people's feelings being hurt. We're talking about people dying. So don't put your narrative of your feelings over people dying. That is what we're here to talk about. And LGBTQ members, I'm going to say it again. Talk about Black lives then. Talk about straight Black lives. Why do I only hear the trans Black lives only talking about trans Black lives? How come we can't hear them talk about Black lives in general? These battles are and I can't wait to set up these debate classes because I got some stuff and I want to be able to have a debate. And a debate means that you don't need to take anything personal. It's a conversation that's weighing on two sides. Okay. But again, when I made the statement, yeah, you can watch the video. What you know, Joe. If the video was still wrong at that point. But what I was talking about was the officer at the Glamour Salon. And for me to even have to take the time to do all of this while trying to organize something for July 11th and contact everybody. And I want to make sure my people know that I'm there for them. That's why I'm explaining. I don't want nobody to feel left out. But I also want people to understand, yes, I hear you. Yes, I understand. But at the same time, you haven't said anything about Black lives. In my messages from these people, there's the first message is, hey, your word's this, your word's that. There's no solidarity. You know, I'm starting to question why you're at our events when you're only there to talk about LGBTQ. Why are you not there to talk about and support Black lives? Like, I really want an explanation. My words get taken out of context, and I get hit with 10 messages, and nobody sees a problem with that. Everybody just, and then Black lives. And my messages from these people, there's the first message is, hey, your words this, your words that. There's no solidarity. You know, I'm starting to question why you're at our events when you're only there to talk about LGBTQ. Why are you not there to talk about and support Black lives? Like, I really want an explanation. My words get taken out of context, and I get hit with 10 messages, and nobody sees a problem with that. Everybody just, and then even though they say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I'll leave you alone. But I'm like, why did I even have to go through those feelings? Like, I had to read a whole paragraph to actually understand everything that you were saying and everything that you were going through. And at the end, it wasn't even valid. That sucks. Look, I just got a message back right now. I'm good. Listen, I'm gonna read it out loud to you guys. Oh damn, you guys didn't hear none of that. I didn't know that it was gonna put Facebook on pause, but my main point is that the LGBTQ community members, let me not say the whole community, members from the LGBTQ community are making this fight a lot harder. I get so many messages about people who need me to say pronouns, but they don't have nothing to say about Black lives. To me, I don't. They might post something on their Facebook. Who I'm talking about our interaction together. The people that hit me up and say, "Hey, your pronouns, your speech, or this," they don't say nothing about Black Lives Matter. It's almost as if they only care about their own agenda. Once again, and all of them are white. Not one black transgender has hit me up and said, "Hey, you're saying this wrong." Not well, one. My fault. One. Other than that, right? And I mean, I don't know. Like, if you're trying to say that I'm trying to suppress somebody else's, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that um, the main thing I'm saying is hearing about requests and stuff without equal support is what I'm saying. I'm not feeling the equal support. I'm feeling like it's really one sided, and I'm feeling, almost pushed out by the LGBTQ community members. And some of my answers might be short because I have a lot going on. I'll be tired. I have to come in here to a graveyard. I got to go to work. So people, the responses to some things that I say are like impatient. And I'm just like, you guys, this is not unity. This is not unity. Um, I'm moving forward, not wanting to offend anybody, but um, I cannot stop and explain every time that my words get taken out of context. Okay, and I'm not telling the LGBTQ community to not explain um, pronouns and stuff. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you're gonna hit me up and send me a long paragraph about how I'm wrong and what I said and how I offended somebody, can you please at least let me know that you think that my life matters, that you agree that my life matters as a straight black man? Not, I shouldn't even have to say that I'm straight. You know, we're talking about equality here. We're talking about race here. I just need everybody to remember that we're talking about lives being taken. We're not talking about feelings being hurt. We're not talking about none of that. We understand that, right? We're talking about racism. Yes, educate. Let me know. And the more I know, the better. But I'm feeling like I'm being silenced by the members of the LGBTQ community because it's just overwhelming. And it's not even the topic. And all of them but one are white. I gotta go, guys. But the main thing I'm saying is just if you're gonna approach me about trying to help me at least let me know that my life matters to you.